Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Salamun alaikum. Welcome to our program, Muslim Scientists. Inshallah, today we shall learn about the life and works of Abul Hasan ibn al-Hytham. Abu Ali al-Hasan ibn al-Hasan ibn al-Hytham, frequently referred to as Ibn al-Hytham, was an Arab scientist, polymath, mathematician, astronomer, and philosopher who made significant contributions to the principles of optics, astronomy, mathematics, meteorology, visual perception, and their scientific method. He has been described as the father of modern optics, ophthalmology, experimental physics, and scientific methodology, and the first theoretical physicist. He is also known in the West as Al-Hasan. Ibn al-Hytham was born in 965 Christian era in Basra and was educated in Basra and Baghdad. Thereafter, he went to Egypt, where he was asked to find ways of controlling the flood of the Nile. Being unsuccessful in this and fearing for his life, he feigned madness until the death of Caliph al-Hakim. He traveled to Spain, and during this period, he had ample time for his scientific pursuits, which included optics, mathematics, physics, medicine, and development of scientific methods, on each of which he has left several outstanding books. He made a thorough examination of the passage of light through various media and discovered the laws of refraction. He also carried out the first experiments on the dispersion of light into its constituent colors. Ian P. Howard argued in a 1996 Perception article that Al-Hasan should be credited with many discoveries and theories which were previously attributed to Western Europeans writing centuries later. For example, he described what became in the 19th century Hering's law of equal innovation. He had a description of vertical horopters, which predates Aguilonius by 600 years and is actually closer to the modern definition than Aguilonius's. And his work on binocular disparity was repeated by Panem in 1858. He is the first to describe accurately the various parts of the eye and give scientific explanation of the process of vision. Al-Hasan's most original contribution was that after describing how the eye was anatomically constructed, he went on to consider how this anatomy would behave functionally as an optical system. He also attempted to explain binocular vision and gave a correct explanation of the apparent increase in size of the sun and the moon when near the horizon. He is known for the earliest use of the camera obscura. He contradicted Ptolemy's and Euclid's theory of vision, that objects are seen by rays of light emanating from the eyes. According to him, the rays originate in the object of vision and not in the eye. Through these extensive researches on optics, he has been considered as the father of modern optics. In his work, Al-Shukuk ala Ptolemyus, variously translated as Doubts Concerning Ptolemy or Aporius against Ptolemy, published at some time between 1025 and 1028, Al-Hasan criticized Ptolemy's Almagest, planetary hypothesis, and optics, pointing out various contradictions he found in these works, particularly in astronomy. He considered that some of the mathematical devices Ptolemy introduced into astronomy, especially the equant, failed to satisfy the physical requirement of uniform circular motion, and noted the absurdity of relating actual physical motions to imaginary mathematical points, lines and circle. Having pointed out the problems, Al-Hasan appears to have intended to resolve the contradictions he pointed out in Ptolemy's work in a later work. Al-Hasan argued against Ptolemy's refraction theory and defined the problem in terms of perceived rather than real enlargement. Through the works of Roger Bacon, John Peckham and Vitello, based on Al-Hasan's explanation, the moon illusion gradually came to be accepted as a psychological phenomena, with the refraction theory being rejected in the 17th century. The Latin translation of his main work, Kitab al-Manazir, was produced in the 13th century. This translation was read by and greatly influenced a number of Western scientists, including Roger Bacon, Robert Grosseteste, Vitello, Giambattista della Porta, Leonardo da Vinci, Galileo Galilei, Christian Huygens, René Descartes, and Johannes Kepler. This book exerted a great influence upon Western science and thinking, and brought about a great progress in experimental methods. His contributions to mathematics and physics were extensive. In mathematics, he developed analytical geometry by establishing a linkage between algebra and geometry. He also studied the mechanics of motion of a body and was the first to maintain that a body moves perpetually unless an external force stops it or changes its direction of motion. This would seem equivalent to the first law of motion. According to medieval biographers, Al-Hasan wrote more than 200 works on a wide range of subjects, of which at least 96 of his scientific works are known. Most of his works are now lost, but more than 50 of them have survived to some extent. Nearly half of his surviving works are on mathematics. 23 of them are on astronomy and 14 of them are on optics, with a few on other subjects. Not all his surviving works have yet been studied. Some are yet to be translated from Arabic. Ibn al-Hytham's influence on physical sciences in general and optics in particular has been held in high esteem, and in fact it ushered in a new era in optical research, both in theory and practice. Al-Hasan was a devout Muslim, though it is uncertain which branch of Islam he followed. According to A.I. Sabra, he is possibly a follower of Shia Islam. Al-Hasan described his theology in these words: I constantly sought knowledge and truth, and it became my belief that for gaining access to the effulgence and closeness of God, there is no better way than that of searching for truth and knowledge. Did you know that the crater Al-Hasan on the moon is named in his honor, as was the asteroid 59239? Al-Hasan. I hope you enjoyed our humble presentation as much as we did. Khuda Hafiz, and keep watching Channel Win.